So to start a new simulation, you go to Ansys Workbench and get a Fluent uh, tab, and then you need to start with the geometry. I use SolidWorks and created my CD nozzle. After you create the nozzle, you need to uh, make it as a surface planar. So it could be opened in Ansys, and then once you do that, save it as a step AP214 file. After after the geometry is created, you're going to right click and it should say import geometry, but I already have it opened. So when you open it, it should look like this. This is all you need to do. After you have your geometry set, you need to start the meshing. For the meshing, I start by naming the sections. So you get an edge, and then the inlet, outlet, and the walls. So inlet and the outlet walls. And then for the mesh, you right click and then insert. Select your method. I use triangle method. But there are like the quadrilateral and the multi-zone. I like triangle. Set this mesh size to 0.2 centimeters. And then I did inflation, and then inflation. Inflation, I set it to the first layer thickness with max height of 0.05 centimeters with 4 layers. So for the triangles there, and then for the inflation, it creates this layer right there. After the mesh is complete, go to the setup. You need to select the solver type to density based, and then under models, you need to turn on the energy equation, and then the viscosity, choose inviscid. Materials, fluid, air. Change it from a constant to an ideal gas, and then change create. Boundary conditions. You need to change the inlet from a velocity inlet to a pressure inlet. Gauge total pressure 5 million pascals, supersonic 4.5. Total temperatures 3000 Kelvin. Outlet used 300,000 pascals. Thermal is 500 Kelvin. The backflow change from total pressure to static pressure. Change the operating conditions to 0 for everything. Yeah, the reference values. Compute from the inlet, reference zone, nozzle, or whatever you name it as. Change the residuals to 1's the -6th for everything. After you do that, you will initialize, and after the initialization, you run the calculations. I used 2500 iterations here. After the calculations are done, you create your contours. So, static pressure, high pressure, low pressure, density, temperature, velocity, Mach number, and speed of sound. And to create a center line, we would go to Surface, Line Rake, and then select your endpoints, then plot, XY plot, select the line that you created, then you have a nice center line.